Hello and welcome. A new episode, a new day, a new topic. And let me start off with a very cliched line that every child is special. Right from the days of Amir Khan's Tare Zameen Par, we are used to this particular line that every child is special. And why not? Every child is definitely special. Now, what about those children with disabilities? See, it is a very great responsibility for of every parent, of every teacher to mold and shape children in general. Because every child's mind is designed differently. Now, how do we tap the potential of a child? How do we help them develop their faculties? Is left up to parents and teachers. And so today we have a special educator with us, Mrs. Benedicta Miranda, taking us through her task as a special educator. Welcome, Benedicta, to this in space and time. And to start off, tell us something about yourself.
Okay, I'm a special educator dealing with special children, and my expertise is dealing with the deaf children. I teach the deaf children, and I've been quite some years with these children. Although, like I started my career thinking that I will be a teacher for the regular children, but somehow, as God has planned, He had planned for me to be with the special children. And so somehow I landed in this special field,
Okay.
and in due course of time, I did my special education for the deaf.
All right. So, how long have you been in this institution as a special educator?
Uh, I have been teaching the deaf children since 1992, so it's almost like 33 long years.
Okay, that's a long
Yeah,
time, and
yes.
now you must be the senior most in the school.
Yes, there are some more senior teachers, but in different section of my
Sections.
school,
Okay.
and some of the seniors have already retired.
All right. So, what exactly do you teach over there?
Yeah, as I told you, I deal with the deaf children. I teach the grade 9th and 10th grade, and I teach subject like sign language, I teach English and geography.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So, were you also trained in the sign language just before you got into this?
Yes.
So, was it the ISL, the Indian Sign
Yes,
Language?
Indian Sign Language. I did a short-term course in Indian Institute of Research and Training, which is in Delhi.
All right.
Okay, I did that, and my B.Ed in for the deaf education. And I have learned most of this signing with my experiences from the
From the
children itself.
children, yeah.
Yeah, it's their language. It's the language
Exactly.
of the deaf.
Exactly.
So I got lot of experiences and lot of vocabularies from my students.
Students.
Itself. Yes.
Okay. So, what is the syllabus like for these kids?
Yeah. They like the regular education. They also have the same subject.
Okay.
They have English, geography, science, mathematics. But they don't have the second language, third language, Hindi, Konkani. They don't have that only because they are unable to hear and language acquisition becomes difficult for them.
Okay.
So we go through only one language, that is English.
Okay.
Okay. But as for the curriculum for the special children, they have brought down the curriculum a little bit lesser lessons
Okay.
and a fewer poems.
Okay.
But it is the textbook is same like the regular children,
Okay. Like the mainstream.
mainstream children.
Okay.
But in science, they do have a special curriculum which will enhance for these children, for our children.
Okay.
So they have brought it down as per their level.
Their level.
Same goes for mathematics. They have a syllabus only for these children. And also geography and economics, in par with the regular stream, it is a different with lot of pictures in the
Visuals.
text. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And our deaf children are visual learners. So the more the pictures, there's better
Yes.
understanding of the subject, which are a little abstract for them.
And how many students do you have in a section or a class?
Okay. Usually the ratio is 1 to 10. A
One
teacher
teacher
will,
and with
yeah,
10
10.
students. Okay.
Because we have to cater and focus and give them the attention. If we have 50 in a class, we are not
Correct.
able
It's
to
going to
do
be
it.
difficult. So, what's the duration of every period?
Yeah, 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40
So,
minutes.
is it feasible for you to teach 10 different students, because they have 10 different needs,
Yes.
and you have to customize your teaching strategy according to those 10 different individuals?
Yes.
So, is it possible for you to cater to 10 students in that 40 minutes and complete your syllabus on time? It's possible.
No, it is, we can't do it, but we have to do plan it systematically. Like, for example, in the way of my explanation, I'll be so slower and more at the base level, so that the ones who have a higher IQ will pick it up, as well as the child who is at a lower level can pick it up.
Pick it
And since that 40 minutes is not enough for us, we take extra classes.
Okay.
So maybe I usually do it during October holidays,
All right.
when the child comes and we give them the extra time.
How do you detect and find out that a child has not grasped the lesson or the poem or whatever you're doing?
Yeah.
How do you gather that?
Yeah, what happens is that we, at a regular chapter, we have evaluations. So we try to twist the question
All right.
and give them.
All right.
So if that child is not able to give me that answer, I thought, okay, I should have been a little
put a little more effort,
and try to
Got it.
give that understanding. So sometimes I even have open textbook exams,
Oh,
where I twist the question and I give them. I said, search the thing and give me. So sometimes in a grammatically they may be a little not perfectly correct,
but then
because of the deafness, but it's okay.
It's okay.
But as long as I get the main points what I want, and to see the understanding level.
True. So, Mrs. Benedicta has been teaching in Sanjay Center for Special Education, Porvorim. I want to ask you, what are which parents or which students seek admission in your institute?
Okay, so in our school we have 4 sections. Okay, the one which I am teaching is for the deaf, as I mentioned you. It is called the Shruti section.
All right.
Shruti means you can hear the sound, okay?
Alright.
But it's just the opposite. Our children can't hear the sound, but we name them Shruti. Then we have the learning disability, okay, LD it is called, and slow learners. That's a Shraddha section.
Okay.
Then we have the ID section, intellectual disabled children.
Okay.
Based on their IQs and all, they are segregated in classes. That is called Sanjivini section.
All right.
And then we have a vocational, where the children are taught the basic skills. They are not able to do the academics. So that's called the Saksham section, where they are taught pre-vocational skills.
Okay.
So that is how we have entire school is made up of. And we also have the other, like physiotherapy, occupational therapy. We have dance classes. We have Zumba classes. We have cookery classes. So lots of other co-curricular activities are there. And my deaf students are very good in paintings. You should come and visit our school and see the lovely paintings they
I'll
do.
tell you a personal experience a little later. One of your students. Okay. Now I just want to know, how do you motivate these students or encourage them to learn? I don't know whether you have students who have disinterest in learning otherwise, but in case you want to, adopt innovative new strategies of teaching, what do you do? How do you motivate them?
Actually, every child has got talent in them. Okay, it may vary from child to child. Okay, but everyone has something. God has always blessed each child with something. Okay, so how to motivate? That is one very good question. I also used to say, will I be able to teach the deaf children? Because when I came across for the first time into this deaf institution, I was thinking, will I be able to teach you know. But first, the teacher have to build up that rapport.
Okay.
If you have the rapport with the kids, and the child itself will get attracted to you.
Automatically.
Once we have that rapport between the teacher and the child,
Student, yeah.
teaching becomes easy,
Easy.
and also learning becomes easy.
And learning becomes fun also.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm not of like, you know, hit the child and make them to learn.
no,
I'm not
no,
into
no,
it
yes.
at all.
That is-
But I try to do it with love, and we go down at their level, and
yes.
get the work done.
In fact, that works.
Yes, it
instantly.
works.
Yes.
It works. On that.
Yeah.
And deaf children are very emotional. Once they are attached to you, means they will do everything you want them to do.
Okay.
You know, like anything.
Okay.
You ask them anything. And first only mine are little bigger children, 9th and 10th
Yes,
grade.
yes.
So then I tell them, okay, this is the thing I want, and this is the thing you should be doing. This is the thing you should not be doing. It will annoy me. Okay?
Exactly. So, I was going to the next question where now you said 9th and 10th students, right? So they are at that teenage phase.
Yes.
So when you look at a mainstream class also at 9th and 10th level, they start getting fidgety, restless. They get into this self-doubt sometimes, arrogance sometimes. So do your students also go through all these?
Yes. They go to the
they go through all this.
different moods.
And what if they are not able to express vocally or verbally? Do they give any other outlet to all these?
Like for example, I would say there certain things the children can't ask anybody, and they don't get explanation. Like with our personal growth. Okay. I remember we were teaching home science, and there was the entire study about their body.
Okay. Yeah.
They had that hormonal changes, the growth of changing of puberty and all. See, these children have had a problem, but what they did was they drew the complete picture of everything what they wanted us to explain to them.
Okay.
So we do not have any other option, but go with it. And that is how. But once you build up that rapport with them, they will come with n number of questions.
They'll be feeling free to even
yes.
talk whatever otherwise
Yes.
is kind of inhibited or prohibited or whatever.
Yes.
Like they feel shy about things. Okay, that's nice. And tell me one thing. In the mainstream classes where we reward a child for doing good, or whether it's sports or dance or studies or what, we pat their back and we said well done. We are very verbal with our praises. What do you do in your class if you want to reward a child?
Okay. With respect to reward, like they go for we have inter-school, in the school itself we have the competitions and all. And then that is the time at the school assembly, the child will be felicited there. This child, we had this competition, this one came first, and they did this. So that is how they are felicitated. And in the class also, I also have the thing, we will click a picture and put it on our notice board.
But do they feel different that time?
Yes.
That's
nice. Now during Christmas time, my kids decorated the class.
All right.
And one of the child came with series from home. And that series wouldn't work. He somehow fixed the series. I was so amazed that we also can't fix the series. So he did it.
That's why I said at the beginning, every child's mind is designed so differently. We really don't know what lies there.
Yes.
That's. So I want to know, what is your opinion about this inclusive education?
I feel inclusive is good. Even from the government side, everybody talks about inclusivity. Okay. We can't have I'm talking about my deaf children. We can't have a world only for the deaf, and we can't have a world only for the hearing. We can't have it. So at some point of time, when they finish their 10th grade education, they have to go in the world of hearing. In the
Along
hearing
with the
world. Hearing world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So even once they finish, was it a work oriented something like that, they have to face the hearing world. Actually, to tell you frankly, they don't have a problem. They can mingle themselves very well, very perfectly
Okay.
with the hearing world.
Okay.
Actually, we are the one, we don't understand them. Then we
Okay.
can know what he's saying. You know,
Okay.
we got what he's saying. So that, I think we have the limitations. They don't have.
Yeah, I think here I'll just interrupt you and I'll tell you my personal experience of dealing with one of your students who
Okay.
joined, the institution where I worked.
Okay.
And she was hard of hearing. She could not speak, but she's such an enthusiastic girl. I tell you, what a bundle of joy she's, and so much eager to learn. But I, like what you said, the problem lies with us. So when I was teaching her literature, now see, in literature we need teach poetry and short
Yes,
stories.
yes.
My section
Which
was
is
that.
very difficult, I agree.
Yeah, and teaching poetry, because you have to imagine.
Imagine.
Now today the sun is, you say the sun is a ball of fire, but then tomorrow you say the sun is, my love is like the rising sun. And the child has to imagine that. And it becomes difficult. So when I dealt with this particular child, first bencher, and the class would laugh at every anecdote I mentioned, or joke I shared, or story I shared. But this child would look at their mouths and just look at me. She just liked the whole feeling. Everybody is laughing. But she did not understand what I was saying. So I tried writing it on the board. I tried writing it on the book for her. I tried doing a little bit. She taught me, in fact, sign language, as you were saying. She taught me a few things in sign language. And I found that, this whole concept of inclusive education, I was just wondering, is it going to work? Because I found it bizarre in a class like that, where
Yeah.
she felt left out and isolated. And I said, I think this is not good. But then, as you said, at one point of time, you have to go out into the world. You have to join the whole
Correct.
world and work hand in hand, right? So she's doing a wonderful, now we have, in fact, we have had wonderful teachers. I must mention their names, because I have not taken their permission, but I must mention, there's one Alicia Souza who worked with me, Joshua Fernandez who worked with me, and Natasha Guardo who worked with me. And they were excellent in dealing with this child.
Yes.
Because we've asked DHE for special permission, university for special permission, all regarding this child's exams, evaluation, and even teaching. So we got a teacher especially for her, and what an improvement we saw in her. And as you said, painting, she is very good in painting, very good. So we said, well, let's tap on that. So we kept a competition for her, told her go for that rangoli, and she won a prize. We made her feel good about it. So that way, I think what you said is
Yeah.
what you
Can
said is
I
right. Yes,
say
please,
something?
please.
I had the opportunity of meeting Natasha.
Okay.
She came to our school, okay, and then she went to some other class, met another teacher, and she was talking about signing, and then she came to me. Only one question she asked me: how do you teach a deaf child? So, since I was also teaching English, I opened the English book, I made her to sit, I kept my class, and I started reading the poem in signing.
Sign language.
Okay, in signing, I was doing it. And then she was so amazed. She said, okay, this is the way. It's very beautiful, she said. And your signs are, there is a natural flow in the sign language. Because I've been teaching for so many years.
Yeah.
Now, everybody talks about inclusiveness. They want an inclusion of the special children and the hearing world and the other, okay? It was a nice thing that your institution took that child.
We took,
okay? It must be a new thing for all of you.
yeah.
But I would say on this, when they take a child, inclusion, they have to make sure that there are resource persons
Resource people
who are
for that.
able to deal,
Exactly. Train
Okay.
teachers for that.
train.
Yes.
Okay, like if you see in other schools here in Goa, the regular stream, each school they have a resource room.
True.
Okay, so the child goes in the regular setup, and whatever they need an extra attention, extra focus
They-
for that child to build up that knowledge, they will go to the resource room, and the resource room teacher does her work. Okay, that is how. Maybe your that
No,
the
we
institution needs
yes,
that.
yes.
I know government is trying to
Yes,
do it,
yes.
but there is always, unless and until you work with it,
Mm.
find the flaws, and then you can
Then you
rectify it
rectify.
and work for the good of these
Exactly.
children.
So like even when I dealt with this girl, I did not know how to explain. So I tried since I know a little bit of dance, I did a
Yes.
little bit of those signs, but it didn't quite work because she then taught me how to, she came one day and she just did this to me. So I did not know what that was. So she said, "This is good morning." She
Good
wrote it
morning.
down, "Good morning."
Yeah.
So every day we would greet each other this way. So this
Yeah.
way she taught me quite a few things.
Things.
And I said, more than me being a teacher, she is my teacher.
Yeah.
But what a student, what a girl, I tell you.
Yeah.
So it must have been a wonderful journey, for you all these
Yes,
years,
yes,
and you must
yes.
have learnt a lot of life lessons.
Many. You know, one thing, what I learned from them is, like we always say, you get back what you give, right? So I learned from them this. You give them more love, they'll give you double of it.
And they're very
you know?
sweet, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're very sweet, very sweet. Once you get to know them,
True.
they are good with you. Like for example, I did my B.Ed in AP, because in Goa there is no this B.Ed degree for the deaf
For the-
in Goa. So naturally I had to go. I did it in AP, and then I was in a remote village. Okay, not in like Hyderabad and all. It is like the main city, and many languages there, English and all. But in this place, I was thinking how I am going to be, because everything is going to be in Telugu.
Telugu.
Okay. So anyway, as I was entering the campus, I saw the deaf children, and I could communicate with them.
Okay.
Okay. So when I walked with my suitcase, I saw the children and they were all signing, and I signed them back, and they were looking at me. How this one knows? Okay. So that is the thing. Like, if you know to communicate with the deaf world, it is very good. You have won your battle. You can say.
Major part of the battle is
Yes,
won.
yes.
What would you like to tell young educators that are entering now into this field?
Yeah.
Any advice as a senior teacher?
Yes. Like for example, I was trained for the regular stream. Okay. And for some time, I did not take this teaching profession because my kids were very small at that time. Then when I was looking out for a job, I did not get in the regular stream. I heard that there was this school, special school, and they wanted a teacher. So I walked in for the interview. And I realized the deaf children.
Okay.
So I was thinking like how I am going to, teach them. Will I be okay in that field? But then when I did it, I felt like I was more
Meant for
wanting
that.
to be meant for that dedicated work, I thought. I thought like, okay, anybody can teach the mainstream, but this you will require more effort, more dedication and more love. So I thought like it was meant for me. And that is how I got into it. Like, although I had the regular degree, teaching degree, I thought like I had to do this. So I did that B.Ed in special education for the deaf.
Are these children also made self-sufficient? Like, if you know how the employment scenario is today, so are they made reliable on maybe some of their skills, which will provide them for the future without getting disappointed with jobs or not getting a job?
It is still going to happen in some years,
Yeah,
I
yes,
feel.
okay.
But some of our kids, our institution places them somewhere, because my principal and our heads have a kind of a memorandum with various organizations where they employ our kids.
All right.
So some of our kids are in malls,
Okay.
because they have a subject with DTP,
Okay.
desktop publishing,
Alright.
and data processing, where they are able to fill the data. So those type of jobs, they are in malls.
Mechanical work.
They are in malls. Some of our girls are in a petrol pump where they do the official work. Then there are the boys in the petrol pump. Okay, around Porvorim and other areas. So they are being placed, but that is because the initiative of our school. like where a member secretary, the chairman, and the headmaster works to see that they are
They are
placed
placed
somewhere.
somewhere. So I was about to ask you this only, like any success story that you remember, students who are
Yeah.
well placed. Yeah.
I will tell of one child who was he had a lot of tantrums and all,
Okay.
but he was so good into artwork. He was coming from a family where they make Ganesh idols.
All right.
So he was very artistic. Then he started, after his 10, 12, he started working under one of our famous artist in Goa. And then he came back to our school as a art teacher.
Oh, lovely.
So he's been training our deaf children. Okay.
Okay.
And he does beautiful paintings.
Okay.
If you see in our class, in each class there is a painting on the wall.
On the wall. Okay.
Okay, it's very huge, but he has taken in the deaf children to do that.
All right.
Okay,
So he's presently employed in your.
yeah, he's employed.
Oh.
Like that, there are other few children also employed, our student. Some are in the vocational, where they teach the shell craft and all to our children, but our own students.
Okay.
Yes.
It was nice. Nice knowing more about, what happens
Yeah.
beyond those walls of,
And
your
there's
school.
another deaf student
All
of
right.
ours.
Okay.
And she is working as a teacher, academics.
Okay.
Okay, she is dealing with the deaf children.
Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely. You must be brimming with pride.
Yeah, it makes me feel so good. One day I went in the mall and I saw one of my student only was working for that McDonald's, and she was involved in making this burger, and I was feeling so proud to that she is not idling her
Yes.
time just sitting at home.
She also must be feeling the sense of worth. no?
Yes. So that was giving me a pride that they are working and they are independent. That is more.
True.
We should have dignity of work.
Correct.
Wherever they
Wherever
work.
it is.
As long as they get the income and they are into it and making a good thing of their life.
true.
That's very important.
Yeah, that was my last question, Benedicta. I hope you enjoy your work and we
Yes.
wish you all the very best, to continue this noble task of molding, these young children. And thank you to you, and thank you to, I also need to place on record my thanks to the member secretary, Mrs. Neetal Amunkar, and the principal of Sanjay Center for Special Education, Mr. Tatu Kudalkar, for giving me the permission to have this interview with Benedicta Miranda. So, Benedicta, all the best, and thank you once
Thank you
again.
so much.
And see you.
So much.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Yeah.